started. Hi, I am your host, Kaynichole. To see any past episodes, do check out the Kaynichole After Dark on YouTube. So you can check out any of the past episodes. Please like and subscribe. Be happy for you to be a part of the fam. And leave comments if there's anything that you would like for her to talk about or anything like that. Let me know so we can definitely put it in the discussion. So, updates. Lingerie is fashion is still, tickets are still available till tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So if you're interested in coming to Lingerie is Fashion, definitely make sure you get your tickets now. So we are going to discuss red flags. Okay. So let's start with number one, right? The number one red flag, and let me just go and talk about this. Red flags, I don't feel is something that you just necessarily just run away from, right? We kind of have this mentality, like if they show any red flags, stop everything, move away, get out of Dodge, all that good stuff. And to understand is that we all have trauma. We all have gone through things and have been through things. So we internalize it different. We show it, express it differently. So a red flag, I would suggest, is more for a conversation. So if you feel like somebody has red flags, then sit them down, have a conversation, talk to them. Why is this going on? I feel some type of way about it. What's happening? Let's talk about it. And if they don't have anything to say to justify or share anything that gives up substance of why they're doing what they're doing, then yes, that is more than a red flag, and it tells you that you need to get out of Dodge. So skeet out of there. So what I'm going to say is the first red flag is communication or lack thereof. So this is a person that chooses not to communicate, is a bad communicator, doesn't look to communicate better. They're just not there. They're just not trying to have a conversation with you about anything that's of substance. So that is the first red flag, okay? When they don't communicate with you. And like I said, all of these are something that you would sit down with somebody and talk to them about and just kind of get their idea, because a person that doesn't want to communicate, is it because they don't, well, actually that might lead me to my next red flag, actually, which is vulnerability. If they're not being vulnerable, okay? So that is it of itself, right? Is getting vulnerable means, right, to share of yourself, be of yourself, right? So if you feel that they're not even sharing anything, they're very, what people have told me, secret squirrel, right, about, then there's something there, and there's something that's not connecting, and you have to know why that person is not being vulnerable with you, why they're not sharing about their life, why are they, if you talk to them about something that happened in your life, like a scratch or you fell or something like that, and they're not, you're looking to build, like, what happened to you in your childhood, and they have nothing, then yes, that's definitely something that should be looked at. So if they're not able to be vulnerable with you, red flag, time for a conversation. Hey Kay, I have a lady that's living with another man. Is that a red flag, or should I accept the way it is? It depends on what the situation is. I mean, just because they're living together shouldn't necessarily mean a red flag, but if they are doing something, or where there's it's an ex, right? Is that the best situation? Is there, now if they're, because it's a living room situation and they're not hardly there, like, there's so much in the air with that, but that's not necessarily a red flag. It's their activities that they're doing would be a red flag. Like, if they're just too comfortable, about certain things. So there's certain boundaries. And if they're crossing those boundaries, that it feels like we're sharing time, well, then that's something that you want to share, that you want to talk to them about. That's something definitely that you want to talk to them about and say, you know, I feel like I have to split time with you between you and your roommate. What's going on? Is this truly your roommate? Are you feeling them in a particular way? Ask them, you know, and that's part of being vulnerable too, is about being able to share your feelings and say, yeah, I am feeling jealous about that, or I'm feeling neglected, or I'm feeling like, share what you're feeling, but be able to communicate it. And that's why I said the first red flag is communication, because if they're not able to communicate how they're feeling or how, you know, what's going on in the relationship or any of that, then it's just going to go downhill. And now if they want to be able to communicate and they want to be a better communicator, then that's something different. But if they just are staunch, not communicating, not sharing, you know, and this is like sharing whereabouts, you know, all these kinds of things, you know, are a concern, and why they, you know, should be addressed as a red flag more sure than running away. But like I said, if they don't have a suitable answer, then yes, it's time to leave. Jay Rilla says, I did, and we got into a minor argument. Well, then you'd have to DM me, because it depends on like what was the argument about. Like, was she just defensive of her roommate, or was there more going on? Because if there's something in the background going on, you can feel it. And that's another thing. A red flag for yourself is ignoring your intuition. Okay? Yes, they say women have intuition, but men have intuition too. Okay? I'm not going to deny y'all some kind of intuition. So if you feel like your woman is stepping out or doing something funny, believe your gut. Believe your gut. Because your gut is telling you something that it can't see. And that's intuition. It has nothing to do, intuition has nothing to do with logic. Okay? It's a feeling, and it's a strong feeling, and you can't hide. It's like it's just strongly there, but it's not influenced by insecurity or anything like that. So you got to make sure of what it is. Trevilla says, but she did tell me up front, but I think I'm growing feelings and being jealous because I want her all the time. Then, I mean, that explains it. Sometimes you have to, you know, especially if someone lives with somebody, you know, there are times when you're just dating someone, right? And then that person gets to have more time with someone else. It can definitely make you feel a type of way, you know, want that person's time. So be honest with yourself, be real with yourself, you know, yeah. Take self-inventory, you know, about how you're feeling, and then go back to it. So communication, not being vulnerable. The third one is spending time, right? If they're not spending any time with you, then that's a red flag. Okay. Why aren't you spending time with this person? Especially if you say that you like them, right? And don't get me started when they say the LOVE word. If they're throwing that out there, then if they're not spending time with you, definitely red flags. Red flags. Raise them in the air. Raise them in the air. Red flag. So you don't want that. You don't want that. So if they're doing that, wait, no. Is that pink? No. Red flag. Raise the red flag up and be like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. It's a red flag if they're not spending time. Like, that is part of the experience of getting to know somebody. So if they're not spending any time with you, it's like, how can a relationship grow, right? So if you want growth, right, these are the things that must be done. Communication, vulnerability, and like I said, third, spending time. So if they're not, let me write these down because I don't want to lose my train of thought. Oh gosh, pens flying all over the place. I don't want to lose my train of thought, so I'm going to write down. I'm going to write down of the red flags that I just went over. So communication, vulnerability, and spending time is the third. And for those that are just coming in to the podcast talk show, Kaynichole After Dark, welcome. If you've missed anything, you can definitely check out any of the past videos on YouTube. This channel is about building the bridge between men and women, building up that black love that everyone deserves. So we're talking about tonight, red flags. Communication is part of listening. So I put those two together. Okay? Because you have to have a give and take, right? The person has to listen and not have them break down the information, but take it in, internalize that information, and then respond back, in kind. That makes it so that shows that they're listening, right? And that's how you have a conversation. So that is part of the communication, part of it. Okay. Now, Angel Exodus presents as quality time is a major love language, so you are very correct. Can't be talking about I love you, but quality time isn't really happening. Then that statement is a lie, a trick, or the devil. Laugh out loud. Jerry says right. Yeah, so quality time is something that everybody must have for their relationship to grow. I don't think that could be taken away and for it not to be a good relationship, for it to be a positive relationship, for there not to be quality time. You have to spend time with someone to get to know them. You see in movies all the time, they have people stuck in a shaft together, stuck somewhere together, because that is how a connection starts, by being in close proximity, getting to know each other, building something. So that is a big red flag if they're not spending time with you. Okay. The fourth red flag. Now, some will say that this is a woman thing, but I do believe that because I try to go for things that are both men and women. Okay, because like I said, I'm trying to build a bridge. I'm not trying to have any disconnectivity. So I am going to say, right, spending money. Don't kill me, ladies. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. But yes, I do believe that if you're not spending your money, then how can you really say that you want to build with them, that you like them, right? Because part of spending money is, what I would say is, okay, the way I'm going to explain it is, as a woman, right, we are supposed to pay attention to our men, right? So if they got holy drawers, they didn't eat, they have a meeting with their boss tomorrow and they don't have, a clean shirt or something like that, we pay attention to those things. Well, let me speak for myself. I'm a woman that pays attention to those things. So if I see that a need needs to be filled, then that's what I'm doing. So that's what I say about spending money, is that you're going to do something to show some kind of love, some kind of, and I'm saying gift giving or taking on dates. You're going to do something as a woman. Even if you want to spend time with that man, you're going to be like, yo, babe, let's do something, and if you have the money, of course, pay for it, because I believe that the man shouldn't always pay for dates. That's just me. I don't feel like the man should always pay for dates. I feel like we can do a back and forth kind of thing, or whoever wants to go more. Seriously, because if we're going go-karting and you want to go more than I do, well, you're paying for this activity. I'm not paying for it. But if you want to go skydiving, that's an activity that I really want to do. So yeah, let's do that. So spending money, I feel, for both men and women is a red flag. If you're not trying to reciprocate or show loving things, then why are we doing this? So you should be spending money, even if a woman's just spending money to buy ingredients to be able to cook a dinner or something like that. I do feel like if they're not spending any kind of money on you, not taking you out, not nothing, that's a red flag. Like, we shouldn't Netflix and chill all the time in the house. We shouldn't be doing that, men or women. So if they're not taking you out, and yes, I believe men should be taken out on dates. I definitely do. So if you're not being taken out, if you're not having any money spent on you, then say, well, boy, because yeah, get up off that dough. You don't have to get off all of it, but just lift up the buttocks a little bit, and so we can pull out a 10 or a 20 or a 50. Let me see. I missed. Night Angel Exodus Presents says you can't be scared to literally putting your money where your mouth is. Yeah. Do women take men out these days? They certainly do. They certainly do. And if they're not, oh shit, I break my seat. If they don't, then yes, like I said, that is an issue. They should be taking you out, men and women. I don't say that's a male or female thing. Now, don't get me wrong, on the initial date, a man needs to step up and make that happen. But once it's been established, oh no, baby, men and women should be both asking each other out on dates. But spending money, even if it's just to be like, babe, you woke up, I know it, you didn't have to work today, right? He didn't have to work today. Buy him breakfast, right? Have Uber Eats sent to his house. That's love, concern, all that. So that they're not spending any money, that's a red flag. And like I said, for those that are coming in, red flags are not something that I say just run away and hit and dodge. No, it's something to have a conversation with. So it's like, why aren't we spending any money? If they're like, oh, I'm saving up to buy a house, that makes sense. But if they're like, oh, I'm saving everything like that, and you see a new, I don't know, she bought some new makeup that you knew cost, so like she bought some new Fenty, like how so she being cheap with me, but she not being cheap with herself. So that shows sacrifice. If people can't sacrifice for you, that's another red flag. But that encompasses these right here. So just, should parents be involved in relationships? Those with wisdom should. I don't think that if they don't have any wisdom, or you don't think that that's the parents know you, right? They want to look out for your best interest. However, you cannot tell them everything because, again, they're going to have a bias and everything like that because they care about their son or daughter being hurt in this world. So you have to be mindful of what you share with them. That's what I'm going to say with that. Parents, it takes a village. Sometimes you need outside people, people might say, oh, I don't want anybody in my relationship or whatever, but sometimes you need counseling. Sometimes you need guidance. Sometimes you and that other person cannot just work it out. You need somebody that can be a mediator that is going to say, hey, calm down, or stop talking over him, or, that is going to be an outsider and check y'all's behavior because y'all can't handle it alone. Or, you go to God, if you believe in a higher power, pray on it and everything like that. But I still feel like because everybody's walk with God is different and how they hear him and stuff like that, that you still need to seek a professional. So maybe not parents, but always have a professional. Have somebody that you can talk to that's going to be an impartial party. That's what I would say about that. But yeah, Driverless says if they say they leave them, should you leave them alone? I mean, that's up to you. I'm not going to say listen to your parents and what they say because you're an adult. But I'm going to say that they know you better than anybody else will know you. So I would take it into consideration. That's what I'm going to say about that. I would take it into consideration. So communications, vulnerability, spending. Another red, I said spending time, right? Spending time. So we're on number 5 now. On number 5. So number 5 is calling you. This might go into communication, but I don't feel it's the same thing because When I talk about this means reaching out to you. If they're not reaching out to you at all during the day, they're not thinking about you once, then that's a red flag. Because again, if you care about somebody and say that you like them, then you're going to want to speak to them. You're going to want to communicate with them. You're going to want to share something with them. So yes, it's still, like I said, it's with number one, kind of, but it's just reaching out. Again, that is with just reaching out to someone and saying, hey, I was thinking about you. I was thinking of you today, right? So not quite communicating as well as having a conversation about maybe a problem, but more so just checking in, reaching out. You know, if they're not doing that, what could you possibly want with this relationship? Because they're not communicating with you whenever they have something's going on or you're supposed to be somewhere together. They don't communicate shit. They won't be vulnerable with you. They won't share, you know, when they lost their dog or whatever case might be. They won't spend time with you. You know, you have to beg them to spend time. They're not spending any money on you. They rather say, oh, just come over to my house, you know, we'll cook, clean, you know, whatever. There are major issues there. So if they're not going to check on you, okay, I find that to be a flag. And like I said, again, for those that are coming in, flags are not something where you just run off into the sunset. You have a conversation with them and say, what's going on? Why is it that you never check up on me? Throughout the day, you know, I have to call you first. What's up with that? Jerry says, is it possible for a relationship to have no red flags? It is possible, but everybody's gone through some type of trauma. So there's always going to be red flags because it's personally how you go through life. So if you go through life and you have been unscathed, congratulations to you. But a lot of people are going to have certain things that have happened to them where they have now been scarred. And so because of that, certain things are going to be a red flag. For instance, right? If you've been cheated on, okay, someone always turning their phone over so you don't see the screen is going to be a red flag. Now, they might say, and that's why I said it might be a conversation. They'd be like, oh no, I just don't want the screen to distract me from our conversation. So that's why I put it down, face down. So I don't even, if it flashes, if it lights up, I don't even look at it. You know, that would be a conversation. But if they don't have a reason, like, they respond to you, why are you looking at my phone so hard? Why are you looking at my phone? Pay attention to your own phone. Why you over here looking at mine? That's where you need to run as fast as you can, because it's about what they say out their mouth that provides safety and comfort for you, because that is what we want in our relationships, right? We want to be safe. We want to have comfort. We want to know that we are with our best friend, right? So if these things, if they're not being able to communicate with you, how are we able to meet? Vulnerability. If you're not able to cry in front of me or share how bad your day was or whatever happened, how can we build? Spending time. How are we gonna build? Spending money. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Right? That's what I say. And then not checking on you. Red flag. So that's what I mean about there being red flags. If you've gone through something, it's going to be a red flag for you. Other person might not care about it. For instance, what do I have an example of? Oh, this one, right? So when I was younger, kind of do it now. Sometimes I do it now, but not really too much, right? I used to not have conversation after 10 o'clock, right? I would watch TV, do something else at 10 o'clock. So guys would be like, yo, what you doing after 10 o'clock that you don't answer your phone? What are you doing? And I would like, nothing, I'm watching TV. But or you know, whatever, I'm journaling, whatever case might be. But this was an issue for these men. Why? Because I'm sure the not answering her phone, oh, she's got to be talking to another man, she's got to be doing something. So it depends on what you've gone through. That determines your red flags. Everybody's red flags are going to be different, but I am trying to round it out that these are the general red flags, that if they have these, then you need to run, because it's not going to translate into anything. It's not going to build into anything, because they're not trying to really be there. You know, like I said, if they're not spending time with you, they're really trying to be there. They're not checking on you. Are they really trying to be? They're not communicating. They're not even trying. Like, bro, sis, let's make it. Let's really try to go there and say, no, this person. And I know. And the thing is that we kind of like talk ourselves, right, and give people excuses. Don't give them an excuse. Listen to what they have to say, and then go off of that. Don't make an excuse for them. Listen to them and what they have to say. Hold on, Melissa. Let's read some of the comments here. Team Awesome 418 says, a question that should be asked is that, what can I do that will make it easier to discuss and work on areas or problems that are uncomfortable for you? Definitely a great question. But that's if you're able to be a good communicator and communicate that. Some people are like, I don't know. And then the conversation is cut off, and then where do you go from there? You know? So even just saying about how the question is, sometimes you have to find different ways to ask the same question so that you can get a proper answer. You know? Because everybody's mind works different. So sometimes, that's why it always upsets me when people say, oh, I'm not going to repeat myself. Oh, you too good to repeat yourself? You too good. Because I might not have understood it that way. I had a conversation with a guy friend today, a suitor that's trying to holler today. And I'm like, yo, is he a dumb bunny or what? But no, I hope not. It's just the way he understands the information. And he's like, well, you could have said it like this. I could have, but I don't want to dumb myself down that deep. And that's another thing. If you have to change yourself too much to meet somebody else, then that's a problem. You don't want to do that either. If you got to change too much of yourself, because you still want to be you at the end of the day. You don't want to lose yourself trying to make somebody else happy. So we're not doing that. We're not doing that in 2023. Going into 2024. We're not doing that. So if you have to change too much of yourself, then that's a red flag right there. That's a red flag right there. If you have to change too much of yourself, don't do that, because God made you exactly the way you were, where you are. So for them trying to change you for what? No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that in 2023. Ibarra says, being that you said that a lot of these people are insecure, so it's not even about red flags at that point anymore. Well, the thing is that not everybody heals the same way. And sometimes people don't even heal as fast. And yes, people want to go to therapy and stuff like that, but sometimes we don't even know that that's still in us until we're triggered. And you don't know what might trigger you. Some people are that self-aware, which I have a past video on self-awareness. But some people are not even that self-aware to know that this is a trigger for them. You know, they'll just say, it's a red flag. Oh my goodness, don't, you know, or somebody else's red flag could be perpetrated onto you. Because they'll be like, yo, that's a red flag right there. And you're like, that don't bother me. That's nothing. But that could be somebody else's red flag, and they could put that onto you. So you also have to be mindful who the people that you talk to and get advice from, because they could put their red flags onto you. So it's very convoluted. There's could be a lot going on right now. Relationships are complicated because people are. Hitler says, guys will always think some sexual shit when I'm not giving them the time, nothing else. It's real immature. Well, you know, immaturity doesn't have an age. I'm learning that there are people that are 40 and up that are super immature. Unfortunately, it is what it is. We're all stunted at different parts. Good point. Yeah, so we're all stunted at different points. You know, some people are more stunted than others, because I feel like we're all kind of stunted at certain points in time. We're all working on ourselves. We're all works in progress. None of us here on this earth is perfect. And if you're saying that you are, then you're a downright liar, delusional, crazy, and I'm worried about you. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. But yeah, so those are definitely red flags. Like I said, I'm talking about the general red flags of communication, not being vulnerable, not spending time, not spending money, not checking on you. These are all showings that this person is not really interested. And if they're telling you there's, like I said, there's a disconnect, because actions speak louder than words. So yeah. So those are my 5 red flags. Another red flag that I have that I believe should be something that should be looked at and talked about is damn it, I just lost my train of thought. What do y'all think are some red flags? Tell me what y'all red flags are. Well, I think of what I was trying to say. What are some of y'all red flags? What do y'all think are red flags in this day and age? This is my personal red flag, okay? And I know that it's not necessarily a red flag, but it's something personal with me, right? If I call you, right, you don't pick up, but you're on social media. That is my red flag. Yo, you're going to ignore me. You're going to ignore me and be on social media. I can understand you saying I'll call you back or whatever, but you just ignore me. But I see you posting on social media. That's a red flag for me, because I'm feeling like you're not trying to communicate anything. You're not trying to share with me and everything like that. That's a red flag for me. So if I call you, you're my man, and I see you post, and you don't say I'll call you back or send me any kind of message, we fighting. We gonna go, because that, maybe that's not a red flag. It's more of a pet peeve. Now that I think about it, it's a pet peeve, because I don't think I'll get rid of them for it. But it's definitely a pet peeve of mine. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. You know? And I think that for me is making sure that my presence is known. Like, don't ignore me. I've never liked being ignored. Like, don't ignore me. That's the biggest, I'm ready to fight somebody if you ignore me. Like, yo, I almost came to blows with somebody that I know that I was super cool with, because yeah, don't do that. Don't do that to me. Because I don't do that to people. If I don't do it to you, don't you do that shit to me. Don't you do that shit to me, because I will. So yeah, that's. But I'm working on it. I'm working on me. Okay, let me see. I felt like you high where the wine at, you forgetting stuff. No, a lot of times I don't write things down, and today was a busy day. I just came from a whole fashion show in Manhattan and then raced over here to do this live, because I wanted to stay on track, because I didn't want to miss a day, because I've missed days when IG wants to ban me, and so I already missed, so I didn't want to miss some more. I want to kind of stay on schedule. So there you go, sir, trying to come for me. Okay, come for someone else. Okay, I got this. Thank you very much. That's real tough for you. Okay, cool. No, you got ignored. Nothing else. You rag. I feel for you. Don't ignore me. Exactly, yo. My friend is the same way. Yeah, don't ignore me. Yeah, you busy girl. Great work focusing on your craft. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate that, because I've been trying to handle the modeling, then do the acting, then try to do the hair oil. Like, and then try to do everything else and then have my full-time job and stuff like that. Yo, I be trying. So thank you. Sorry, just came in here and you want to go on my live? No, sir. No, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me, and as you say that, I'm going to pull the wedgie out of my, because I was wearing, oh, shit. I actually broke it. I didn't break it, but I got to put it back. Yeah, I'm going to fix the claps on my undies right on my live. Because y'all can't see that. Y'all can't see shit. Okay, there you go. So, yeah, this was the outfit that I had on tonight with some heels or whatever. So I was out here. So that's why I was working. That's a red flag. Well then, so be it. Let it be a red flag then. So, I see that. So yeah. So again, like I've been saying, red flags are more about having a conversation with them to see what they say, more so than just running the opposite direction. Because again, red flags are, like I said, there's a general one that I'm sharing, but there are also your personal ones that everybody has. That's a red flag for them. And for those, talk about it. Let's have a discussion. You know, I'm always saying, let's have a conversation. Let's have a discussion, because there's always, you can always talk about it, you know, especially if you feel that that's the person that you want to spend your life with, then y'all should be able to have a conversation about these things. What time is it? It's 11:32. I don't know how long I've been on here, because I don't want to do a full hour, because I do want to eat my food, do want to shower, all that great stuff. So I think I'm going to leave it at the 5 flags, and so I'm just going to go over them again and just do my little feedback. So communication, being able to converse, being able to listen, understand, and give feedback. Conversation, needed. Note have it. Where is it? Oh. No have it. Fly the red flag. Woo! Vulnerability. They can't talk about personal stuff and everything. They can't share about when their dog died or when their favorite grandparent passed away. Spending money. They can't spend any money on you. They don't feel like the only time they spend money is on the Netflix bill, because y'all can Netflix and chill. Not spending any time with you. They're like, yo, I'll call you whenever. Flag. And they don't check up on you. Flags all day. So those are my 5 flags. Yeah, Mr. Outfit Exotic. Thank you. Yeah, so there's still tickets available at Lingerie is Fashion. If you want to attend, there's still tickets up. So go to Eventbrite, and I'd love to see you there. I'm hosting. So I'm even an even better outfit than this one. Can you give us another trick real quick? Yeah, no. But that is my red flags for this evening. Probably have more that I could talk to y'all about, but those are the ones that hit me hard. That if you don't have those, your relationship is sinking. Sinking. So, yeah. That is all for tonight. I will see you guys next Wednesday. For anything that you've missed, make sure that you go to my YouTube, Kaynichole After Dark, to see any past episodes. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. We can definitely enjoy listeners next time. We can know red green flags, definitely. And whoever says this is going to sound real young, but if you don't smoke and hate the smell of it. Huh? But if you don't smoke and hate the smell. What do you mean? I'm lost. I'm confused. This is my confused face. But anyway. Yes. So that is our episode for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, above all, always keep your crown straight. But smoke bud, those people are mad extra. Smoking, I mean, I know that we're at the end of my segment, but I will answer that question. I mean, some people are able to be with smokers and people that don't drink be able to be with drinkers. I think it's possible. But I like to stay that liked minds should stay around liked minds, because after a while it's going to annoy you. If your partner is a drinker and they like to go out and you're always going to be the designated driver and stuff like that, that shit gets old real quick. Or they're smoking and everything like that, and they're like, oh my goodness, the smell when they come in. So in all honesty, I believe when you have certain vices, that you have somebody that has a similar vice or a vice that they can connect with, so that it makes sense. Because if a person has a vice and the other person doesn't really have it, it doesn't work. I personally don't think that it lasts as long as it could have worked if they had similar vices. But then again, it's about how you handle your vice too, because I know people that they're both smokers, but like one, when they smoke, they can't do shit. But when the other one smokes, they're mad, like, let's go do this, let's go do that, so. But it don't smell bad, but cigarettes does. Ugh, I hate the smell of cigarettes. No. So yeah, that's the whole thing too. Like, and some people don't mind. Like, I've dated smokers. My dad was a smoker. So maybe that's why I don't feel like too against smokers, but it's like, yeah, pop a Tic Tac before you kiss me, and stuff like that. So it's about being mindful of those things and being able to do those things. But like I said, if you have a vice, I just implore people to be with somebody that has a similar vice as them, but that they're functional and everything just like them. You don't want two alcoholics being with each other. I don't necessarily agree with that at all, but if you're both social drinkers, yeah, I feel like that should be good. So again, thank y'all for tuning in. I need to go. Oh my god. Yes, that's my time, people. That's my time. When I'm sorry yawning on camera, oh no, we got to go. So I bid everybody a great evening. Thank you for tuning in to Kaynichole After Dark. If anything that you've missed, again, do check out the YouTube. Please like and subscribe there. I would really appreciate it and love it, honestly. So please, if you would, that'd be so kind. So thank you for tuning in. And again, always keep your crown straight. Take care. Have a great night. And have a great rest of the week. Take care. Have a happy hump day.